Hello, this is a special Battle of the Estate Cars edition with Johnny.
Hello again.
Where should we start?
You've got to start at the back, haven't you? Battle of the Estate Cars.
This, as you may well know, is my Rover R8 in estate form. And then next to it is a Rover 75 in estate form. Although Rover people prefer to call them
Tourers.
correct, not touring.
Not touring.
Don't see why. What's wrong with calling them a estate car?
Yes, or...
They're just a saloon car with a bit stuck on the back.
Yes, but if you say estate, people think you're going to be hauling around bales of hay and lamb or something like that.
Yeah, so, in other words, Rover made a car that you could carry things around, but it's more of a lifestyle thing. You don't need to be carrying around mattresses, beds, or any of that kind of stuff because you're not a manual labour kind of person. Is that right?
That is right, although that said, this is now doubling up as my work bus and it's doing a very, very good work job of carrying all my gardening equipment around in it.
Oh, you've spoilt it now. You've spoilt it. I am going to argue that the R8 is actually a better estate car or tourer, and Johnny believes the 75 is,
without a shadow of a doubt, a far better estate car / tourer.
and I think he's talking. To open up the boot on the R8, it's the same as any of them. You just pull the lever and then you pull it up like that, although there is a place there for your key. And as we've seen before, plenty of room for your shopping box and your picnic basket. Yeah, it's a box for shopping. What you do is you go to the shop, you pick a trolley up from in the car park, you take the trolley in there, you fill up your trolley and then you put it in the box so you don't need a bag. And then you put the trolley back in the bay where it belongs.
Like the colour.
Shows your boot, Johnny.
Right, okay. I won.
Yeah, well, I was going to say actually that this particular feature is rather excellent, especially then when you... I always think that looks rather cool from the side.
As we can see, it's a more cavernous boot than the R8, complete with wellies and nice flexible load cover,
Which you prefer?
which I prefer, and integrated dog guard.
Well, it's not really a dog guard, is it? It's more like a
Sort
shopping
of.
guard,
Well,
isn't
it
it?
keeps my, yeah, but it keeps my dog in.
Yeah, but
in place.
any dog really would just chew through that, surely.
Not a well-behaved, well-trained dog like what I have and what they all should be.
So would you say that this boot is actually better than mine?
Without a shadow of a doubt, yes. It's bigger, which is what you want from a boot.
It's only a bit...
What more can you say?
I would say it's marginally longer, but not that much longer. And also, I'm going to point this out, what about its height? Exactly.
A deeper boot with less wheel arch intrusion.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
You have a higher lip. Slide my wardrobe in and out. I can slide mine in and out far easier than you can.
I'm going to admit defeat on this one because the 75 is longer as an estate car than the saloon, whereas that is the same length.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit more.
A bit more.
Just a bit.
I mean, it would be interesting to, I don't know the literage of either of them.
We
It would
could
be
find that out.
interesting to Find that out. Wikipedia moment.
Yeah, exactly. There's another feature of your car that I do actually prefer to mine, and that is
Roof rails.
roof rails. They do suit the roof rails.
Yeah. Every sports tourer should have one.
Yeah.
2, in fact.
Yeah, ideally.
Ideally.
What about aerials? I mean, you've got your aerial in the rear screen there, which is kind of cool. But mine. Now look at this.
Yeah, that's cooler.
Mine also has a Project Nigel sticker in the back with a wonky eye
It's boss-eyed.
for the interior of the 75.
They're very, very different places.
They are very different.
I wouldn't actually want to compare them.
Well, I like the 75 interior, but all of the ovals everywhere. Oval the top.
It's definitely oval the top, or is it Rover the top?
I tell you what I do like are these handles here and the hooks. We've got hooks and handles everywhere, which are quite nice. Nice steering wheel though, with the half wood, which wasn't original, and the non-wood. How do you feel about having a fake wood dash?
I am actually considering replacing it with the original one, just because I know most people who get in this, or nearly everybody who gets in this, just assumes it's real wood because it looks great. It's really convincing, but I know, and I don't like it.
No, I would have thought everybody who gets in it, oh yeah, more fake wood, they'd be saying, and you can't even say, nope, it's real wood.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
No, they're just going to go, oh, look at the lovely wood.
As with my car, when somebody gets in and says, oh no, more fake wood, I can then say, it's proper wood. Proper wood, I tell you.
You got me there, but it's not an essential feature of an estate car, so it doesn't count.
Yes, it does. It does.
Oh.
It's still, you still drive your estate car, don't you? So it's not like none of it's relevant, and you've got a square steering wheel, but it's an estate car, so it doesn't really matter.
No, that's all that counts. Back end, and I win.
You didn't. Well, oh yeah.
The reason I wanted a Rover was Gentlemen's Club Interiors.
Oh yeah.
I wanted a sort of, that. The great thing about the 75 is that it does hark back to the P5 and even the P4, doesn't it? And if I was going to get a Rover, I wanted to do it properly. Whereas the R8 is lovely, beautiful interior, all that kind of stuff, but it still could be, it just doesn't have that sense of grandeur about it. I mean, the R8's a great car, but it's not, to my mind, sort of proper old school Rover. Whereas the 75 is. And that's what they were going for.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, well said. These two cars, of course, are of a different time as well. Rover 75 came out in 1998, just about, whereas the R8, not as a tourer, came out in 1988. 10 years difference. And those 10 years will show us an awful lot of quality differences. Personally, I think the 75 Tourer is a fantastic looking car. But does it look better than its older Japanese brother? Now, I happen to know of some quality issues that differ between these two cars, and where this one definitely does win is quality.
Quality of what?
Everything!
Exactly.
Everything!
Everything door shut sounds?
Ah, right, there we go. Yep.
Nah. I mean, I'm just going to open it again because it's not just door shut sound, it's door open sound. Yeah, I like that.
That sounded ever so slightly Volkswagen-y then. The rear door. And that's where it goes wrong.
There's much more solidity and weight to this door that I like. And the fact that it'll just stop where you want it to. No, it's all right.
Now, I think the 75 door does sound better, but you've got to do it just right. Because if you do it too hard, it doesn't sound good. So you've got to get it so it's just... Nah, no, that wasn't right either.
I'm going to try this one again.
Right, go on then.
Oh, this feels so much, it's so much lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is better actually, I'll give you that.
Yeah. One of the reasons why it's heavier though is for safety reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to have a crash, do it in that car.
That one.
Yeah, for two reasons. You'll be safer and you won't be destroying a rare car.
You would with this one.
Yeah.
Because this is a very rare car.
Yeah, it's just an estate car.
It's not just any old estate car.
It's just an estate car with scratchy windows.
It's got scratchy windows.
As they always have.
It's what's under there combined with what's back there and what's in there.
Engine off.
Engine off.
I'm suggesting that we open up the bonnets and compare engines.
No, we don't have to do that.
But, you know, we can see the V6 under there then, can't we?
No, you don't need to. We've all seen it before.
Yeah, it proves that you've got a V6 under there rather than
I'll
just
just
a
turn
1.8.
you can hear it. I can't be bothered lifting that really good quality bonnet. It's so heavy.
So in other words, the cable's broken.
Yeah.
Right. The Rover 75 is indeed a very handsome car and a very nice car to drive, but it's not without its faults. What we've just found out there, of course, is the bonnet won't open, and that is a common problem. A common problem amongst many things. Not just the scratched up glass, not just the window regulators that go wrong, not just the latches that go wrong, not just the corrosion on the sills and the way they have lots of water ingress every time it rains. And this is a V6, so it has other issues as well, like inlet manifold rattle, ridiculous fuel consumption, and not really a massive amount of power for the fuel consumption that you're using. And then of course we have other things such as all the suspension components, all of those rather fantastic ideas that BMW had to make this car brilliant has turned it into a car that constantly rots underneath, so every bit of suspension component can go wrong at any point and suddenly you're left with a car that's just not worthwhile fixing. Besides that, I like it.
Good.
So Johnny,
Yeah.
what could you tell me about the R8 that is inherently wrong?
Inherently, well, I don't know. I've not had enough experience of them. You've driven and had masses of experience of these. I've only ever driven one R8, and that was that one.
Yeah, and also you don't know about its faults because it doesn't really have any.
Ah, that'll be it.
That's the thing.
Right.
They don't.
I watched one of Matt Furious's videos, and he did say the T series are very dribbly.
Oh yeah, you lose a bit of oil out the top, and if you leave them stood outside for 30 years, they will end up with lack appeal. But then again, you're going to get the same with this. Yeah. What would you prefer? A little bit of a dribbly engine, or one that rattles itself apart like these tend to do? There is another point here as well, of course. So what I'm going to do is climb the back of this and see how much room I have. Oh. If I'm honest, it's more than I remember. Right. I thought I was going to be in here and just have no room for my knees at all, but it's not actually that bad. So possibly I'm going to make a point that isn't worthwhile making. I know. Yeah. This would be better with some wood cappings on there as well. Yeah. In the back of the R8, I'm going to say the room is kind of the same, I reckon. But you wouldn't expect it to be because it's a smaller car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sat in the back of there yet.
Eh?
I want to go.
All right.
Buckets of room for me in here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And
leather.
Yeah, the seats are nicer, aren't they? They're nicer than your seats.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Just admit it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay.
They are.
Okay, now onto the King's Highway, handbrake off, look left and right, feel the biting point, and you're safe to go. Here we go, accelerate hard, not that hard. It's important we get the video done quickly and efficiently, without any dicking around. Right. Come on Johnny, you can drive properly. Watch that curb. Just clean this, so avoid that big puddle over there.
No, I adjusted the seat too far forward.
Ah, right, I see. Yeah, you do look a bit far forward there.
Definitely, yeah. I'm not as much of a short ass as I think I am. It doesn't sound as nice as mine. I mean, it sounds good, but it's presumably noise. We've got the sunroof open, haven't we?
We have got the sunroof.
You have a sunroof, I don't have a sunroof.
Ah, right.
But then that's probably a good thing in a 75, not having a sunroof.
Well, I did mention that the 75s are prone to leaking everywhere.
Well, yeah, they like to leak the roof, in the arse, all over the place. I mean, one of the problems with the 75, and one of the reasons I think I will probably replace it in the end, is that whenever I'm driving at any distance, I think I'm constantly constantly thinking, when's the inlet manifold going to go? When's the temperature? When's the thermostat housing going to implode? When are the Viz motors going to pack up?
Yep.
When are the front springs going to snap? And it's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
It's when, yeah.
And it's a wonder. I mean, they're wonderful cars, but they are very flawed, aren't they?
Well, the trouble is, they were done on the cheap, whereas this, it really wasn't done on the cheap, and that's why they didn't make much money out of it.
Right.
Even though they sold loads and loads of them.
I mean, the Tourer was really expensive when it came out, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like about 16.5 grand in 90, whatever it was, which is
Quite a lot of money.
This is the Club SE model, so it's not exactly poverty spec, but it's it doesn't have all the features. I was originally going to buy. I'd had an option of getting a Connoisseur SE, a Cowley built one, which would with real wood and everything. And there are some things about this being, obviously, a Tourer never came pre-Project Drive, did it? So that feels cheap.
Plastic.
Yeah, and
oh yeah, they'll chrome rings.
Off.
But
I went for this one because of
the manual box.
And
the manual box in the V6 Tourer
is incredibly rare.
It's very quiet. Oh, you got your airbag light on. That's another thing I forgot.
Oh yeah, the airbag light.
So what I do like about these is most definitely they are quite involved.
Yes.
You take it up somewhere like this and it just feels really planted. I would say that it's actually a better driver's car than the R8 on some of these roads. But what is missing is power.
Yeah, it's surprisingly low on power, isn't it? You have to rev it, don't you? You can actually watch the fuel gauge go down.
Well, yeah.
It's very thirsty.
So, who does that appeal to? Yeah, exactly. Nobody really. Nobody's going to be showing off about how they can afford to fuel a V6 75, are they? Because if they are, then they'll buy something that actually is fast in the first place.
Yeah.
The 75 is considered to be the poor man's Jag, isn't it? I think.
Well, yeah.
Even though the 75 is probably a bit better than the equivalent Jag.
Yeah. Moving aside from that, one of the lovely things about this, as you say, on a road like this, the balance between the ride and the handling, I think, is spot on.
Yeah.
It's only because of your incompetence. But that noise, the wind it out.
It is a good noise.
It's a very good noise.
It just doesn't pick up in the way you want. That to me is a bit of a letdown, really, because it's such a nice car. It's such a nice drive, except for the old clunks. Even this one's got a bit of. Sounds like a drop leak.
No, I think that there is a little bit knock on the exhaust.
I remember the first time I drove a ZT estate, and that was a diesel over this particular road, and I'd had it for a little while. And when I drove along this road, I thought, I've got an itchy ear. I also thought, what a fantastic car, and it really did something good here. It really did make a proper driver's car.